poppin' slime? Osiyo, all my chudges and gahudges. So today I'm gonna be telling you a story, but first, let's read the first one of the day. Today I loaded up some tropical runs. Ooh, I wish you could smell this. Yeah, and I just gave this homeboy fresh rinse, so she clean. So fresh and so clean. Scoted. So I just want to say thank you guys for showing up, hanging out with me, sharing my video, liking it, commenting, all that jazz. If you guys like my videos, I'm just gonna keep posting them. So I'm really excited to share this story with you just because this is one of the biggest moments of my life that have really shaped me into who I am, and I just really want to introduce myself to you guys. I feel like I've been covering up who I truly am as a person my entire life. So a lot of you guys who actually know me, you guys think, wow, she's so much different than I remember her. Like, no, this is exactly who I've been all along. I don't know, maybe I just didn't feel comfortable being myself around you guys, but I'm just tired of all that. So it's a lot to keep up with, trying to please a lot of other people. So I'm just gonna be bluntly myself. Here she is, Shae, in all her glory. Before I get into the story, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory behind the intro that you just watched. So I wanted to introduce you guys to one of my favorite objects. That would be this board. This is my Birdhouse Tony Hawk board. I bought it on Amazon. I don't remember when. I think I was like in 7th grade. I don't know. I didn't know if I just wanted to be edgy, but I actually learned how to ride. Y'all, this board got me through some shit. Like, I was uber depressed back in like junior high and high school, and there were times I would just wake up at like 8:30 in the morning and just hop on my board and go ride around like the park in downtown, especially the post office parking lot. That was the best place. But during the winter, when it was like super cold and I couldn't skate in the parking lot, I used to skate inside the gym, and they would hold events in there, so I used to practice going around tables and chairs and like going super fast around the corners and stuff like that. And they had really long hallways that I would also ride down. And they would just give me the Bluetooth speaker, so I got to play whatever music I wanted, like, and just bump in the whole gym. It was so fun. Yeah, so the song that's playing in the background of the intro in like real life is When I Come Around by Green Day. So just a little fun fact for you. Alrighty, so this next object I'm about to show you is a little bit harder for me to see. You'll know why in a minute, but it's this longboard. So that last board I showed you is the board I learned how to skateboard. This is the board I learned how to longboard. Coincidentally enough, it was in the same exact gym I just told that, or the intro was in. Yeah, that's the same place I learned how to ride this. And this board wasn't mine to begin with, and it's crazy that it even came back in my hand, so I'll tell you the story of how I got this board. So it was actually right around the same time that I was learning to ride the other board that my friend used to ride to the same gym like every week on his board. I think I had to be like 16 or 17 at this point. I barely remember that whole section of my life, so I'm like pulling this out of the core memories of my brain. So I was like, yo, I'm learning how to board. You should let me try out your longboard so I can learn that too. Why not? So he did, like a cool one. And I learned pretty quick. I mean, I was learning skateboarding at the same exact time, so I just picked it up, but totally different ballparks in my opinion. You see, my town does not have a skate park. my town has cracked ass Oklahoma roads that are probably never gonna be fixed. Like, I had a gravel driveway that was like a fourth of a mile that I had to walk down to even get to the highway to even step on the board. But what sucked most about the situation is that I had to keep giving the board back because it wasn't mine. So old Shauna just slapped some longboard wheels on my Tony Hawk board and just rode around like that. You know, because how else am I gonna roll over them bumps and cracks and rocks that was always in the road? And then I guess one day I just got bored of my board and I just never picked it up again and it just sat in the corner. So flash forward to 2021, yeah, when I was living in the Cherokee Nation capital of Tahlequah. So Tahlequah is a college town, so of course there's going to be more sidewalks and trails and parkways and all that jazz. So it's a lot easier to board out there. So when me and Crate lived there, this mutual friend that let me borrow his board back in the day, he's a longboard enthusiast. So at this point, he's already gotten plenty more and just kind of gifts that same exact board that I learned to Crate, like years and years and years later. So I thought that was pretty cool in itself. Well, Crate ends up buying a new board and gifts the same exact board to me. So here we are, full circle moment. So you might recognize this tapestry from my TikTok. I actually did a TikTok video about this. It sort of went viral and I still get notifications about it every single day. So like, this is why I'm talking about it, because I never really went into full detail and like, we're going on 2 years later now. So alrighty, so let's picture this. It's 2021, the month of June, Tahlequah, Oklahoma. I just got my first apartment, only been living there for a few months, and I'm a year out of high school at this point. I just got a brand new, well, not brand new, but new to me, Lanyard's longboard to go skate around on. Like, let's fucking go. There's so many trails. The college was like right across the road from my apartment, so it just hop on the board and go. And that's all we did all summer. It was so fun, like just going down all the trails and discovering new parts of the college I'd never been to. I didn't go to this college, I just lived on campus. I remember it was a Saturday and I had just gotten a job as a barista inside of a hospital. It was a terrible job, but I loved it at the time. And me and Gray are out and about skating around on the college campus down at NSU, and Tahlequah's super hilly. Like, I don't know if you've seen the movie Where the Red Fern Grows, but that's actually where it's filmed. And there's tons of hills, like that's accurate, like everywhere you go. So very fun to skate around on. Ooh, there's this bomb ass hill over by the Turtle Man statue on NSU campus, like over by the fountain. That's where this took place. I just see Crate go down this hill, having the ride of his life. This looks so much fun. I'm ready to go. I'm hyped. Let's do this. Go then. So I start at the top of the hill because, of course, that's what you do. You start at the top. I was ready for it. Hop on the board. I'm going down the hill. I'm like, okay, cool. This is cool. And I'm looking forward and I see Crate make it all the way down and he's like about to stop. He's like slowing down enough. So I'm like, I got this. We're good. I'm going. And I just kept picking up speed. And I was like starting to get the fucking speed wobbles and my board had a rocker on it. I don't know if that's to blame or if it's me. It's me. Just kidding. I'm not even questioning that anymore. This is my fault. So I'm going down the hill, speed wobbling my ass off, like clenching my booty cheeks, like, oh, it was so scary. And I'm looking forward and I see Creighton start to like turn around. I didn't want to run into him, and then past him is like a 3-foot drop off into water, into the creek, and then I could have took the right turn, but it was a sharp ass turn. I didn't know I was gonna make that on that huge ass longboard. You saw how big that is, and to get that, to whip it, like, it needs skills, and frankly, I just wasn't there yet, so I was mentally not okay while this was happening. And so I'm going through my options. Option 1, run into Creighton. Option 2, just go into the water. Option 3, just fucking stick it out and just take the turn. You can do it. You've done crazy shit like that before. You've been fine before. But no, I took the other option. I tried to roll into the grass, and mind you, this was on a sidewalk, and you know how they like cut that thin little piece between the sidewalk and the grass? So when I tried to roll into the grass, my front wheel got caught between the sidewalk and the grass in that small little divot, so the board stopped, but I didn't. I kept going, so I got fucking launched. So I'm flailing through the air, like literally. It reminded me of the Sandlot, like Benny jumping over the fence in the Sandlot. That's what I pictured myself in my head. So I'm like flailing, and looking back, I know, tuck and roll. Tuck and roll, that's what they always say. They always say, don't fail. If you do, tuck and roll. Them's be the rules, but I'm rebellious or something. I try to catch myself on one leg, like straight up T-posing, and I thought it was gonna hit my face, so I was trying to catch myself at the same time. I twisted my leg, and then full body weight just, and I just heard, it's grossing me out thinking about it because it's so vivid in my head. I just heard, and I was like, oh no. And I just got really lightheaded and just laid down in the grass. So I'm chilling in the grass and like holding my knee and just like, I wasn't crying. I was just in so much shock, and I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know if it was sprain. I knew I was gonna miss work. I had just got this job. So much shit was going through my head, and like nothing at the same exact time. I don't know. I just remember calling over to Creighton and him coming over and was like, yo, you good? I didn't see what happened. And I'm like, I'm not okay. And he was just like, you're fine, walk it off. So you know what I did? I got up and I walked all the way up the hill to sit on like the stairs on the backside of the college for Creighton to go get the car from the apartment. Mind you, we rode there on our longboards, and we're pretty far from the house. Like, he's gotta go ride the longboard back all the way to the apartment, pick up the car, and then come take me to the Indian clinic. Oh man, this part sucked too. So I'm chilling on the stairs, like, not knowing what's going on, and I'm not crying or anything. I'm just kind of chilling there, but I can't walk, and it's hot. It's the middle of summer in Oklahoma. It's hot. So I'm sitting there sweating, and a little yellow jacket comes and just chills between my legs, like literally just sitting on the stairs, and it just comes and flies right there, and I'm like, what am I gonna do if this thing like tries to sting? Run? So I just kind of had to sit there like, you better come real quick because I don't want to get stung. Like, this already sucks, and it's getting dark. Like, at this point, like, the sun was starting to set, and I was just, oh my gosh. The minutes felt like hours. Eventually, Creighton finds his way. He couldn't find the road, so it took him an extra minute to get there, but we good. So he picks me up, and we go to the hospital. Luckily, the Cherokee Nation Hospital was just right down the road, so it wasn't like that big of a deal. I made it in, and he just kind of like felt the back of my knee. And he was like, it's too swollen to tell if like it was just a sprain or if he tore any of the ligaments. Like, it's pretty bruised up right now on the inside. We're gonna have to wait for swelling to go down before we can tell. I'm gonna order an MRI though, and we'll get you taken care of. So I'm like, sick. Oh, they just handed me some crutches and I dipped out. So I'm on crutches now. I have no idea what happened to my knee. So I'm texting my boss, hey, I just done fucked up. Like, I think I sprained my knee. If it's worse than a sprain, I'm not coming in. So I don't know. It's too swollen. Sounds a little bit more than a sprain to me. So I was just like, bruh, I'm not coming in. Like, I don't know what happened. Not gonna be at work. Yeah, you guys heard it. Not gonna be at work. This impacted my financials like tremendously. What a fucking shame this happened. But hey, I don't want to be stuck on the negative. Like, I'm telling the story for the positive here, so there's something to learn out of this. A month later, 1 month on crutches later, after harassing the doctors and begging for an MRI, I finally got the MRI. And at this point, my leg is stuck, like just bent, like just non-functional at this point, because I just had like a Walmart knee brace on it, and I wasn't using it for a month because I was scared to. I didn't know what was going on in there. Come to find out, like a week after the MRI, that my knee is pretty much snapped in half. Yeah, so he brings in the pictures or whatever from the MRI and he puts them up like how they view x-rays, and he's like, yeah, so let me show you an example of what an ACL looks like. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. You see the 3 there, and this is the big one right there. Yeah, and this one is yours. And he puts it up there, and as you can see, there's nothing there. It was just completely gone. Just no ACL. And then if you look here, there's a huge tear in your meniscus. Do you know what a meniscus is? Oh yeah, that's like the cushion between your knee. Yeah, so that's ripped in half. You're gonna have to have ACL reconstruction, and you're gonna have to have meniscus repair. Maybe meniscus replacement. We'll just see when I get into your knee. I've never had surgery in my life. The worst injury I had at this point, other than like sprained shoulder, sprained knee, I cracked my kneecap at this point, but like I had nothing that required surgery or like that put me out more than 2 weeks. Like, I was fucking terrified. So it sounds like they would do the surgery right away, right? But no, my leg was frozen. Like, it wasn't doing anything. Like, they can't do surgery on a frozen leg. Like, that's just not gonna work out. Like, that's literally pointless at that point. So I had to go to physical therapy, and I had to learn how to bend and straighten my knee with a torn meniscus and a non-existent ACL before they even thought about doing surgery. Well, 3 months and a blood clot later, yeah, I had to go to so many cardiovascular doctors. Like, old people go to those, and it felt really weird because they would look at me really weird because I was young and everybody else wasn't. And they're like, aren't you a little too young to have these issues? And I was like, yes, absolutely I am. Yeah, so 3 months later, I finally get my first surgery. You know, the ACL reconstruction and meniscus repair is what ended up happening. Oh boy, that was one of the worst days of my life. Worst ones. I did try to pull a Steve-O and try to see how long I could stay up under anesthesia. It didn't take long at all to knock me out, so. Yay! We had surgery. I now have an ACL, and they bonded somebody else's, like, I don't, what is this part of your leg called? I don't know. They also took mine too. Like, they bonded it with somebody else's hamstring. That's the thing. They bonded somebody else's hamstring with mine to make it stronger, and then connected it, and then they just kind of like sewed up the meniscus together. It was really gross, and I have a lot of scars from it. So I'm 1 month post-op, and they're like, yo, your leg still isn't functioning correctly. It's still quite frozen. Like, you can bend it further now, and you got a little bit more range of motion, but you should be able to, like, use your leg. And that just wasn't happening. So months upon months upon months of physical therapy before I got my second surgery. I can't remember what the surgery is called per se. I used to know the term for it, but essentially they knocked me out and then forcibly bent my knee to break down all that scar tissue and like all that frozen muscle just in my sleep. And I frankly remember this surgery just because I remembered it was at the hospital that I worked at. And I knew all of the nurses that were doing the surgery, and I asked if they got their coffee that morning because I was the barista and I wasn't there. I wasn't there to make their coffee, so I made sure before I passed out. And then I remember they were bumping music when I got in there. I remember when I was being getting knocked out, they were playing Mary Jane's Last Dance by Tom Petty, and I remember falling asleep to the harmonica part. So after a while, I do go back to work. Like, they still let me sit behind the register and just do easy things, and I still made all the food, and I still made all the coffee. Like, I didn't let my crutches stop me. That was one thing about me. I feel like I'm pretty tough. Like, I'm pretty wimpy on those things, but like, I always learn to toughen out in the end, I guess. But I've endured 7 months of crutches, depending on those to walk anywhere I go, being careful about my leg. And I lived on the 3rd floor of my apartment complex. 3rd floor, so that was like, went up a flight of stairs, turned, went up another flight of stairs, turned, went up one more flight of stairs, turned, walk all the way down to my apartment door. I had to do that on crutches. Like, at first I did like the butt scoop on the stairs, like that jazz. And then eventually I just got good enough just to go up the stairs on my crutches, and I got pretty good at it. And I made a lot of people nervous, and like, it was weird because people would stand outside my apartment and like watch me. I mean, I'm sure they were just making sure I was being careful, but it was kind of weird. I don't know, there were just times where I didn't think it was ever gonna end and I wasn't gonna be able to walk again. Like, I hadn't walked in 7 months, and what that mentally does to a person is something I never wish upon anyone ever. There were times where I just wanted a wheelchair. Like, I wanted to give up and just succumb, but I didn't. I persevered, and I pushed myself, and I try to exercise and stretch daily now. I'm still not 100%, and I haven't jumped up on the board since then, just because I'm too like mentally scared. Like, I've tried to ride a penny board and jump up on another person's longboard, but now I see people going down the trail so fast down the hill by my apartment, and oh, it makes me so nervous just because like it puts me mentally back to where I was. And I've bumped some pretty huge hills, like bigger than the one that I wrecked myself on. So I don't know, like my mind's always been my worst enemy, and it just taught me some valuable life lessons about being appreciative that like I get to walk and I get to dance. I've been dancing my whole life, and that was one of the first things I said when I wrecked my knee, was like, I hope I get to dance again someday. So if you see me post some dance videos, like, you guys don't understand how major that is for me, because that was such a big part of my life, and to think that I may never participate in that ever again, like, that totally wrecked me. Like, I may never jump back on a board ever again, but I'm happy I get to walk, I get to dance, I get to run with my dog. And it's been a long learning journey. I've learned so much, and it's helped me heal a lot, not just physically, but like mentally too. It took a lot from me, and it really drug me down, but I've learned how to persevere and kind of use those troubled times to my advantage. And I also feel like I learned how to cope better in shitty situations. You know, I said I felt stuck, and I was really depressed about it because I couldn't go out of the house a lot of times. So I was definitely vitamin D deficient, and that will take a toll on your body. But now I take advantage of that and go outside and get some sun, and I'm really appreciative of the fact that I get to do that today. And I really learned perseverance. Like, my resiliency is something I will always take pride in, just because I don't know, I've always been able to pick myself back up and keep going, and I feel like that's what's gotten me here to this day. And I can't wait to take the next step on my journey. Like, this is so exciting for me to be able to tell this story to you guys, because I keep saying it over again, but it's just so meaningful to me, and it's, I don't want to say defined who I am, but it's kind of really shaped me into the person I am today. I also really love to hear other people's skating accident stories. Like, I'll tell them mine, and I really love listening to the feedback. So let me know what you think of this story, what you took from it, or tell me your craziest skating story, your craziest skating injury. Let me know. I want to read them. Alrighty, so thank you guys for hanging out and smoking with me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, because I will be coming out with new videos. Like, I really enjoy this, guys. So if you guys are enjoying it, I'm there with you. And be sure to follow me on all of my socials. I feel like I live a pretty cool life, and I'm trying to be more open about it, so I'm gonna show you guys what goes on in my daily. Cheers, motherfucker. I'll see you guys next week. Always remember, before you head out the door, phone, wallet, keys and smokes, keys and smokes. Alright, peace you guys. Donada, go eat.